Hey, what's up? Lightboltjoe here. Today we are going to discuss the 2011 comedy Christmas adventure film, A Very Merry Harold and Kumar Christmas. This film is an hour and 29 minutes long. It is just such a fun continuation of the Harold and Kumar franchise. I really want there to be a fourth movie. It's been 8 years. We need a movie about them being dads. It's going to be wonderful and hilarious and perfect. Oh, be great. So, about 6 or 7 months ago, I was talking to one of my coworkers about something, and then all of a sudden I got a flashback to a scene in some Christmas movie and in some penthouse in Manhattan, and there was this coked out toddler, and she's crawling on the ceiling, and she's like beating up this Russian guy, and there were these teenagers playing beer pong, and I could not, for the life of me, remember what movie it was from. And then me and this dude, we were on our break together. We're just hanging out. We're just brainstorming. We're going through all of these movies that involve drugs, violence, gangs, New York City. We thought it was like, I don't even know what we thought it was like. We knew it was a comedy, but we could not figure it out. So then finally, he was like, wait a minute. Was that the third Harold and Kumar? And I was like, oh my God. I can't believe it. You're right. So then automatically we did a quick YouTube search of that scene, and we're just laughing our asses off. And this goes to show you that this comedy is pure gold. That 8 years later, and here I am with a fellow 20-something-year-old laughing our asses off as we take our lunch break in the break room of work. Absolutely hilarious. So, good memories on that front, but good memories when this first came out. I remember seeing this in theaters with my parents and my brother in 2011. At a theater in Babylon, which doesn't exist anymore, but it was so entertaining watching it with them, because this is an R-rated film, and like you see it with your parents and you're young and you're like, how are they going to react, because they were never open about talking about sex, drugs, and rock and roll, let's put it that way. So we all just laughed our asses off. The claymation bit, laughed our asses off. Harold's penis stuck on a pole, laugh our asses off. It's just great. I have a lot of great memories with this movie. Let's put it that way. A lot of great Christmas cheer memories with this movie. So, this film takes place many years later when we left off with Harold and Kumar Escape from Guantanamo Bay. Harold is working on Wall Street with Kevin. Was that his name? The kid from the first one at Princeton? I can't remember his name. Last name Lee. But so then they wind up getting egged, and then Harold's jumping into his friend Todd's car, and he's trying to get back home so that way, you know, him and Maria, because they're married at this point, can get ready, their house ready, because her parents are coming over for Christmas. But it turns out her entire family is coming over, excuse me, for Christmas. So Danny Trejo plays her father, and it's hysterical. He goes off on this, not tirade, but monologue about why he loves Christmas and trees, and his mother was killed by this gang of Koreans when they first got to Manhattan, and it's awful, but hysterical dialogue and imagery at the same time. So, as this is happening, Harold is hanging out in his apartment. Vanessa comes back over because Vanessa left him 3 months ago because he's immature and he won't grow up. And she says, I'm pregnant, and he does not react well. So then he goes back to smoking, and his neighbor comes over, who's named Adrian, one of his new neighbors. And he invites Kumar to go to some party in Manhattan so he can have sex with this girl. And Kumar's like, yeah, let's do this. But beforehand, he got he got a random package at the door with Harold's name on it. And he's like, Harold, I haven't seen him in years. So he convinces his friend Adrian to drive to Harold's house to drop the present off, to drop the gift off. So then Kumar drops the gift off. He slips on ice, screams out, hits his head. Harold, opens the door, welcomes him in, and they open the gift together, and it's this massive joint. And then Harold's like, what? This is a joke to you? I haven't done this in years. And, Harold was very standoffish with Kumar because Harold's trying to grow up and be an adult, and Kumar doesn't want to, and he's staying in the high days and stuff like that. So, Kumar lights the joint gets thrown out the window. The joint magically comes back into the window, lands in the Christmas tree that Danny Trejo brought specifically because he grew it for 8 years, and it's a 12-foot Douglas fir, and catches on fire. So they throw the tree out the window. It's burned to smithereens. Now the objective is to get a new Christmas tree before the midnight mass service ends on Christmas Eve, so that way Maria and her family can have a beautiful Christmas tree as intended. So Adrian and Kumar go off to grab a tree, but Todd and Harold had already had a reservation on the tree, so then there's a swap of the tree, and then there's a massive car accident, and then they wind up just driving into that Manhattan to let Todd sleep with this girl at this party in exchange for their Christmas tree. So there's a lot of prostitution and trading of drugs for a tree, for that matter. So they get to this penthouse, and all hell breaks loose because there's drugs galore, and then it was a Ukrainian mafia's establishment. And that's where this scene pops up that my friend and I were talking about 7-8 months ago at work. So they don't get a Christmas tree. They're drugged by these teenagers playing beer pong. Hilarious. Harold and Kumar exit the penthouse building as claymation characters. Hilarious, being chased by an angry snowman. They run into their old Jewish neighbors from down the hallway in their apartment in Hoboken, Jersey. They all go to White Castle. Little throwback to that. Harold and Kumar try to get the Christmas tree from the church across the street, but they can't. So then they wind up inadvertently walking down an alley, getting thrown into a Christmas pageant, which turns out to be Neil Patrick Harris's Christmas pageant. Have a whole tit for tat with Neil Patrick Harris, and then Neil says, "Oh, all right, boys, we'll see you in the fourth." And here we are 8 years later, and there's still no fourth. And all of them have expressed interest in making a fourth, and I need there to be a fourth. If only I had my own production company. And I've said this numerous times because there's so many things that need to be made, this being one of them. And this is a prime example of Joe does not have the resources nor money to do these things for the people, because the people deserve these things. Kills my soul. I keep going like this, by the way, because my tattoo is extremely itchy. We're on day 5 of healing. And yeah, this chest tattoo is pain. But it's for you, Anton. For you. It's going to be very difficult reviewing any of your films in the future. FYI. RIP. But, yeah. So, little shout out to you on that. So, back to the movie. Harold and Kumar then escape from the Ukrainian mafia after they take them. There's a waffle bot involved. Harold's penis winds up stuck to a pole, just like in A Christmas Story with the tongues. Wafflebot saves the day. Harold shoots a shotgun, hoping that someone will hear them. He inadvertently shoots Santa in the head. And Santa's canonly real in Harold and Kumar. And Medea, Tyler Perry's Medea, is canonically involved in Harold and Kumar. Just FYI. Just throwing it out there. Okay. More pop culture to you. So Kumar then does a impromptu surgery on Santa's head in the middle of an alley. In the middle of nowhere. Santa feels all better, offers them a ride back to Harold's house, drops Harold off, drops Kumar back off, and then Kumar winds up going to the Christmas party the next morning after Santa works his magic and makes a beautiful Christmas tree appear in Harold's living room for him and his family. Harold stands up to his father-in-law, Mr. Perez, Carlos Perez, Danny Trejo, and it's a Christmas miracle. Maria is pregnant. Kumar gets back with Vanessa and says, "I'm going to be a good dad, and, we're going to do this right," and all this stuff. And it's just such a beautiful, heartwarming ending of a trilogy, leading perfectly into a fourth for the young children to be alive. To be honest, they should wait a couple more years till the kids are teenagers, so that way they can have their own high times, and that would be hilarious. Having Harold and Kumar try to convince their kids not to do drugs. That would be hilarious. We'll see. Have you guys seen A Very Merry Harold and Kumar Christmas? What do you think of A Very Merry Harold and Kumar Christmas? Do you love it as much as I do? Because I love it. Mucho mahalo.